What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another New Comic Book Day haul. I'm your host, AR Comics, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for New Comic Book Day, August 11th, 2021. I actually only picked up 9 issues this week, so it's only going to be a top 9 list, but we still had some awesome books that came out. This week was very light compared to some of the last ones, but before I get started off on this top 9 list, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content every Sunday and Thursday that's going to keep you up to date on all the latest releases. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you hit the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on the new comics this week. So I hope you all are having a fantastic day and you've enjoyed all of the books you've read so far for this New Comic Book Day. Make sure you stop by your LCS this Saturday for free Comic Book Day. There's a lot of awesome books coming out, and I'm sure your LCS is going to be having some killer deals. Now, as I was saying before, I picked up 9 total issues this week, a very light week compared to some of these last ones, but my wallet is very okay with it. So as far as this list goes, as always, I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but you guys already know I get very carried away talking about some of these books, and spoilers probably will happen, but I at least usually give you a heads up before I start to get really into the book. So to kick this list off this week, we've got coming in at number 9, this is DC's The Joker, issue number 6. This is cover A, and honestly, I still haven't read issue number 5. I know it's a standalone story, so that's why I continued on with issue 6. It picks up right where the last one left off for issue number 4. I do like where this series is still going, but to me, it's kind of losing me because I'm not really invested in the DC universe. I don't really care about a lot of DC. I don't read a lot of DC books. You guys really put me onto this series, and it has overall been good. I like the overall concept to it. We've got Commissioner Gordon basically being hired to find the Joker, and just them going back and forth has been awesome. But as the story progresses and we still learn more about these characters, we even got some first appearances. It's just not completely for me. I love how they're doing still the inner monologue with Commissioner Gordon, but that's how a lot of this series has been so far. He's just dealing with his inner problems. He's working things out, trying to get a little bit closer with his daughter, and he talks about all this other stuff with his family. But I like how things are going between him and the Joker, and then there's all these other different groups of people in there too. I'm definitely going to be continuing on with this one. I felt that this issue was just a little bit slower, not a lot of action, but there's just so much plot that's being built up in this series. So for those reasons, definitely check it out. I know it's 6 issues deep. At this point, I'd probably wait for a trade paperback or a hardcover, but we've got The Joker, issue number 6, coming in at number 9. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 8, this is Marvel's Spider-Man, Spider Shadow, issue number 5. This is cover A, and for those of you reading this is also the end of the series. I'd say overall Chip Zdarsky did a pretty solid job with it. I love the first 3 issues. I thought they were fantastic. It was a great what if. I almost feel like it could have ended at the 3rd issue. Maybe if they had to do a 4th issue, it could have tied together all the loose plot ends that were still there. But instead, they brought in this new plot, and I really wasn't feeling it. It was basically that the Venom symbiote took over Reed Richards, and then some of the other Avengers, the other Fantastic Four members, and I just really wasn't feeling it because you knew it was almost over. So it's like, oh, they're beginning this whole new plot with only 1 issue left. So other than that, that got continued on into this issue, and it got wrapped up pretty well, but I actually really like the ending of the story itself. So this is going to definitely be a spoiler. This is definitely for those of you who have only read it so far. I liked how they kind of killed off Reed Richards then, and then they basically brought in Spider-Man to be part of the Fantastic Four, because I believe that was another what if too. And at the very end, what they did with Wilson Fisk, I hope Chip Zdarsky continues on with this. He's a phenomenal writer. You guys already know he's one of my favorite ones, and he did do a great job with this. Just that other plot, I personally really wasn't feeling it. If you're a big Spider-Man fan, you love the what ifs types of series, and then you also love Chip Zdarsky, definitely give it a shot. Still worth the read. So for those reasons, we've got Spider-Man, Spider Shadow, issue number 5, coming in at number 8. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 7, this is AWA's Fight Girls, issue number 2. This is cover A, and this continues to be a fantastic read. I love the artwork, I love the storytelling, and even though I had an idea of where this issue was going, they still added some extra plot to it. So if you read the first issue and you thought, all right, all these contestants are on this planet or a different world, and they're basically fighting to see who the winner is. And there's only 5 issues, and there's going to be, I think, 3 or 4 different events. So you can put 2 and 2 together and pretty much figure out that each issue is going to be a different event on a different planet. But while there's not many contestants left, you don't really know anything about these contestants. And that's where the story gets a little bit better than just them fighting it out to see who's going to be the winner. In this issue, one of the main characters, you don't know who she is, and you find out a little bit about that she's actually potentially dead. So we don't know even if this person is who she says she is. We don't know who she's working for, and I really want to see where they go with this character and just the overall story, because not only do I want to know who she is, I want to know who wins this contest. So for those reasons, definitely check this series out. AWA's got a nice hit on their hands with this one. So we've got Fight Girls issue number 2 coming in at number 7. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 6. This is Images, Ordinary Gods, issue number 2. This is cover A. So I really liked the first issue, but I really wasn't sure if I was going to continue on with the series. I love the plot, the overall concept, and just the artwork. I thought it was fantastic. Kyle Higgins does a great job on everything he writes. But with this series so far, including this issue, there is a lot going on. Basically, that first issue, they started telling us about all these immortals from back in the day. They gave us a little bit of backstory. We got some current main characters, a different group. I believe they were called the Reclamation, and just all this crazy stuff happened. And I thought to myself, this is probably way better read as a trade paperback. And even though I did really like this issue, I'm sticking to that. There was too much time in between that first issue and the second one. I forgot a lot of stuff that happened. I had to go back and reread it so that some of this made sense. But man, they are truly developing a story with this one. In this issue, it basically picks up right where the last one left off, except now this main character, he's just trying to come to terms that he's actually been reincarnated. He is one of these immortals. He's trying to reel in what happened with his sister, his family, and pretty much everything that just happened in the last issue. So that's kind of where we're at in this series so far. They were playing a lot of catch up, but there's still a lot of other stuff that's going on that we still don't know about. So for those reasons, we've got Ordinary Gods issue number 2 coming in at number 6, but I do think I'm going to be continuing this one on in a trade paperback. And now we're down to the top 5 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 5. This is Marvel's Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 29. This is cover A. I wouldn't say this is a brand new arc. The best way I can probably describe it is if you're reading the new Thor series by Donny Cates. You know, you had the whole Black Winter arc, and once that ended, you had those 2 little issues that bridged to the Donald Blake arc. I feel like that's kind of where we're at with this one. Clone Saga's over, but it's not completely over. This issue was basically just all the characters coming back together and just kind of figuring out everything that just went down. At the end of this issue, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler, but it is meant for more of you speckers. Miles Morales does get a brand new suit for this one, so could be a big thing if he's going to be continuing to use this suit. Who knows? It looked pretty cool though, much better than that Spider-Man one that Nick Spencer gave him. So with this issue, as I was saying, definitely a little bit more on the slower side. All the characters coming back together. They're trying to figure out what to do with the one clone that still lived. Miles is talking with his family, and he's still dealing with school and all that other stuff. A little bit slower of an issue, still very good. I love this series. I love Miles Morales as a character. But for those reasons, we've got Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 29, coming in at number 5. Next up, we've got coming in at number 4 this week. This is Aftershocks, Bunny Mask, issue number 3. This is cover A, and I'm continuing to love this series. The artwork is growing on me, but as far as the story goes, this is definitely going to be a spoiler. So if you don't want to hear anything about this one, move on to the next issue. So, what the hell is going on in this series so far? Who is this Bunny Mask character and all the weird shit that she does? Who actually is B? Because we found out in the last issue that she actually died in a cave about 14 years ago. So I want to know who she is, who this Bunny Mask person is. And we also found out that not only our main character, but then the other sheriff can hear voices. And these voices are telling them that people are lying and telling them to do bad things. Who's the voice? There's so much stuff going on in this series, and it's just one giant mystery right now. I want to know everything about these characters. I'm just seriously loving this series. I think Aftershock has a major hit on their hands with this one. Maybe in the future, it could be a cool TV show, a cool movie. Who knows about that stuff, but I want to know where they're going with this one. And I just feel like one of these issues, everything's either going to come together or something is just really going to pop off. Definitely check this one out. I'm loving it so far. So for those reasons, we've got Bunny Mask, issue number 3, coming in at number 4. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 3. This is Boom Studios, Eve, issue number 4. This is cover A, and this is another series that I just continue to keep loving. I love the story. I love the artwork. The artwork is absolutely stunning. The colors on the pages are so bright and vibrant. They just pop every time you're looking at a panel. And the story just flows perfectly well with the artwork. Can't recommend it enough. Definitely check out the extra prints for this one. It's Definitely a series that I highly recommend reading. So, as far as this issue goes, assuming they are still ending it on the fifth issue, I really hope they continue on with it. But in this issue, we kind of got some more info that would make sense if it did end in the next one. Kind of set it up pretty well. It was a little bit slower, but we got more info on Eve. We found out basically who this other girl is. There's a ton of info on that. A little bit more about Wexler, that little humanoid teddy bear. And some of the stuff in the last couple issues may have actually been in the past, and they weren't really looking at the Earth when we thought they were. I'm loving this series. A little bit slower of an issue. We got a ton of info, though. It's one you cannot miss for this series. So for those reasons, we've got Eve, issue number 4, coming in at number 3. And here we go. We're down to the final 2 issues this week. We've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is Dark Horse's brand new series, The Unbelievable Unteens, issue number 1. This is cover A, and I'm so happy I was able to pick up a copy this week. When I got to my LCS, I didn't have it pre-ordered, but they had 1 copy left, so thank you, The Encounter in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Make sure you go check them out. They have literally everything you could possibly imagine. I think I'm going to be doing a walkthrough kind of video with them, so I'm excited to do that too, but if you're ever in the area, go check them out. So with this issue, I feel like anything I really talk about is going to be kind of a big spoiler. So if you don't want to know what happens in this one, kind of move on, but I'm not really going to be getting too in-depth with this. I really like the artwork. Jeff Lemire, phenomenal writer as well. But the main story is we have this comic book writer, and then as the issue progresses, she's kind of being followed by somebody, and this comic book that she's been writing actually may be based on real events, and that these people could actually be real. That's what I'm going to leave it at. Check it out for yourselves. Like I was saying, I highly recommend this one. Give it a shot. So for those reasons, we've got The Unbelievable Unteens, issue number 1, coming in at number 2. And this is it, my top read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is Images, The Silver Coin, issue number 5. This is cover A, and this is the end of the first volume. Yes, you heard that correct. Not the end of the series, the first volume. They already have another one announced. They already have writers lined up for it. I cannot wait. I love this series. Definitely one of my favorite ones of 2021. That first issue was one of my favorite issues that I've read in so long of any series. So this issue made them all worth it. This was the origin of the silver coin. We finally got to see the backstory, what happened that possessed this coin, and it was just crazy. It takes place in the olden times. It was a witch that basically possessed the coin, but once you saw it happen, and then the people who held the coin, the crazy stuff that happened to them too, it was dark, it was creepy, and I loved it. I cannot wait for this next volume. I cannot recommend this series enough. You need to check this one out. I'm sure there's going to be a trade paperback, but it's an absolute must read. So for those reasons, we've got The Silver Coin, issue number 5, coming in at number 1. So what do you guys think about this week's new comic book day? Definitely a very light week compared to some of the last ones. I only picked up 9 issues, but we did have some awesome ones. Hands down, read of the week, The Silver Coin, issue number 5. I just love that series. Let me know down below in the comments section what your favorite book of the week was. And thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content, because you won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.